Thierry Henry, £12 million. Ian Wright, £2.5 million. Dennis Bergkamp, £7.5 million. Nicholas Anelka, £500,000. Tammy Abraham, £40 million. Make it make sense. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. Today, we'll be talking about strikers. As you can see, History Channel settings on the background. I thought it was only right that I put, in my opinion, the three best strikers to ever play for Arsenal on the background. And today, we could be adding to our long list of strikers that we've had at the football club, but I'm not sure he's ever going to make it onto the list or that picture behind me. Tammy Abraham. Big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, you know, the usual stuff. We've been hitting over 1,000 likes every day, which is amazing support. Hope you're all well. England is still like a sweatbox. The heat is like no other. And Arsenal are starting to turn the heat up as well in the transfer market, but they're not turning it up enough, man, in my opinion. Big up to everyone. Listen, I'm going to ask your opinion shortly. I can see a lot of you already telling me what you think about Tammy. Man said he's the next R9. I don't know about that, bro. I think R9's probably even better than him now, and he's about 45 now. Awesome green screen. It's legendary, man. It's a bit of a shame I'm kind of blocking Thierry there. Let me sit to the side a little bit. It's a bit disrespectful on the great man. Big up Brandon. He said, I'm fighting a sickness, but here for the stream today. I want to see your views on Tammy. Do you think he'll come to Arsenal? Get well soon, Brandon. And listen, I've got plenty to say on Tammy, and whether he does come to Arsenal. It's funny because all the players we're being linked with, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind that one. I wouldn't mind that one. And then they don't sign for Arsenal. And when it was Nuno Tavares, I joked about him and said, oh, we'll probably end up signing this guy. And he ends up signing. I've been dissing Tammy Abraham for how long, and now this guy could be signing for us. Let's get into the story. Big up everyone in the chat as usual for supporting, and we'll talk about Mr. Tammy Abraham, the Chelsea. He was Chelsea's fourth choice striker this season. Fourth, not even top three, not even bronze medal settings. And apparently, this is the guy that is going to rejuvenate Arsenal, take us back to the top. Listen, for once, I'm just going to sit here and say this. I said something I've never said on this channel yesterday. I said, I'm going to be patient with the manager, Mikel Arteta. I don't know how long that patience is going to last. If we go and get beat to Brentford, that might fly out the window. But I'm going to give him a chance. Let me see who he gets signed. Let me see the style of football next season. And let me see what happens. Like I always say, when you're being linked with players, a lot of the time it's made up. So I don't want to overreact because maybe Edu and Mikel Arteta are sitting there going, what kind of nonsense is this? We don't want Tammy Abraham. But let me tell you something. If this is a genuine link and them two have sat there and said £40 million for Tammy Abraham, I'm sorry, but my patience will be gone very quickly. I mean, look at the picture. It tells you all of it. He looks confused himself as to why Arsenal want him. The man is the fourth choice striker at Chelsea. Not second, third, fourth. Timo Werner was playing up front. They were playing Kai Havertz, false nine up front. They played Giroud up front, the guy we sold about 4 years ago. Tammy Abraham was fourth choice striker. I don't even think he was on the bench for the FA Cup final. 40 million for their scraps and leftovers. A guy that don't even get on the bench. Nah. Arsenal, you have to move better than that, man. You have to move better than that. You got Desi here trying to gas man up. Tammy is awesome. Champions League winner, England international. I mean, listen, man, you can dress it up all you want, but we know that the facts below those facts, what you're saying. Champions League winner, played very little part. England international, 2 caps when we had injury problems. We ain't going to go too far beyond that, you know. 6 goals last season, 40 mil, make that make sense. I don't know. He's a boyhood Arsenal fan. Thierry Henry was his idol. Arsenal fan, but, you know, Who cares, really? I want to know how good you are as a player. Now, the story is by Andy Dillon from The Sun. Again, I always apologize when the story comes from The Sun. It's a newspaper I do not like to even talk about. But this is the exclusive from Andy Dillon, who said, Arsenal are set to win the race for Tammy Abraham on loan with an obligation to buy at £40 million. Now, hey, big up Broads in the chat. Said rather put Ben White up top. I'm telling you, man. When you click on the story and when we open it up, Chelsea naturally are trying very hard to get Tammy Abraham off their wage bill. He earns £80,000 a week basic with around another 20,000 in bonuses. So you're looking at 100 grand a week for Tammy. And they want to get Haaland. They want to sign Haaland. Dortmund want 150 million pounds for him. Now, Chelsea can probably afford to pay 150, but they want to raise money from getting rid of a few of their players naturally. And if Arsenal are there saying, we'll give you 40 for Tammy Abraham, do you know what I mean? Then, of course, they're going to throw him to us. Number one, no big club sells a top player to a rival if they see them as a rival. So clearly Chelsea are looking at us like baby food right now, saying, yeah, man, you can take him. You finished 8th. You're not competing with us. Number two, they don't rate the guy. They don't rate the guy. They're playing Kai Havertz, who is a number 10, up front, ahead of this guy. So what does that tell you? They don't rate the guy. He doesn't even get on the bench sometimes. £40 million. Now, it's a loan, a 1-year loan. Apparently, the loan would cost around 2.5 million. Arsenal would pay his £80,000 a week and then complete the deal next season at £40 million. 40 million for Tammy Abraham. I mean, please, just stop. You need to just say it out loud to yourself, Edu. And it just doesn't make sense. 22 appearances for Chelsea last season, 6 goals. He was a bench boy. Man are saying he's a B-Tech Eddie Nketiah. He's Eddie Nketiah with an extra, I think Tammy's 6'4". He's a stretched out Eddie Nketiah, scrappy player. Every time I watch him play, I just think, I don't like the way he plays. Technically not great. Not even that great in the air to say 6'4". Man are saying he's a lanky Nketiah. I mean, just leave it alone, Edu, man. You're a former Invincible. You worked with Henry and Wiltord and Cornu and Bergkamp. Who the hell wants Tammy Abraham at Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? If they gave him on loan with no obligation to buy, I might have actually just took him and said, you know what? Put him on the bench. He's 6'4". If we get desperate last 20, you just throw him up there. Because one thing I'll say about Eddie is, he's a bit of a nuisance in the penalty area. He's big, he's lanky, he's a bit awkward. But in terms of quality, come on. Do you know what? Man said all the hate. No, I'm not even hating on him, man. I'm telling you, man. I don't want this guy. We've been waiting for Arsenal to spend big money for a while. And, naturally, Arsenal do spend money with the Pepes and people like that. But I'm talking about in one transfer window, 3, 4, 5 players, 150 mil plus. And you're telling me we're going to spend big money on a player like this? Nah, man, it's not that. It's not that. We have to get better than that. Just don't buy. If you can't get a quality striker this summer, don't buy one. Stick with Aubameyang, stick with Lacazette, stick with Balogun, and you've got Martinelli. Don't buy rubbish just to fill a hole, fill a gap. That's not what we need. It's not there, is it? That's not the guy we want. I'd rather get Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. They're saying 18 million for him. Why are we buying this guy for 40 million pounds? Some people in the comments saying, obligations next year, but the money's still got to be paid. It's just buy now, pay later. Like Boxing Day when DFS comes on the TV, come and get your new sofa. Buy now, pay next year, £1,500. You ain't getting it for free. Yeah, you're leaving the showroom without paying no money, but that 1,500 still got to get paid. This 40 million has still got to get paid next season. Anthony said, just come from rants. You playing in the final play of TVFC. I made a joke about assigning Tammy last year. This is banter at its best. Big up Anthony with a super chat. Do you know what's funny, right? We was at some event last year. I think it was, who was there? Rants was actually there. And Mark Goldbridge and a few others. And we were talking about Tammy Abraham at the time, and we was all saying, nah, man, this guy, he's not the one. He's a nuisance, but he's not good enough, not clinical enough. And a year later, here we are, negotiating the transfer. The story just had a little bit of context. It says Arsenal are now winning the race to sign Chelsea's England international Tammy Abraham. Chelsea are demanding 40 million for Abraham, but the fee is proven a sticking point. Last week, it is believed West Ham were favourites to complete the deal, but are not willing to pay the £40 million obligation fee next summer for Tammy Abraham. This has proved a sticking point and has now moved Arsenal to the front of the queue. It is believed Mikel Arteta is a fan of Tammy Abraham and he's looking for a different option up front. An obligation to buy in 12 months would suit Arsenal as it allows them to prepare to complete the transfer. Selling Abraham to Arsenal would then enable Chelsea their pursuit of Dortmund's Erling Haaland. They're also looking at their former player, Romelu Lukaku. So, basically, you want us to come and pay 40 million for man said Tammy Welbeck. You want us to pay 40 million for Tammy while you go and pursue Haaland and Lukaku. You want me to buy your Ford Fiesta while you get the brand new Lamborghini. That's what you're telling me. That's not how this works. I would literally rather have Giroud than Tammy Abraham. And Giroud's like 33. I don't want him. Man said Tammy Welbeck, I swear, that's a banger. That's an absolute banger. Yo, I can't even call him Tammy Bior, I can't. Adebayor did bits at the end. 25 goals a season at one stage for a year or two. I can't even call him that. This man ain't touched 20 in his career. Nah, man, nah. Tammy Sanogo. Yeah, Sanogo with longer hair, fam. He's just a nuisance. He's a nuisance of a striker. He's not quality, in my opinion. He's not going to get us back into the top four. He's not going to help us win trophies. He might get you 10 or 15 like Lacazette. You might as well keep Lacazette. If Mikel Arteta wants to play with a footballing style and philosophy, you want the ball playing centre-back, the ball playing centre-mid. You don't go and put Tammy Abraham at the top of it. He ain't a link-up striker. He's not that guy. You put crosses in the box, get the ball in the box. Things fall to him. He's a bit of a poacher. He ain't a link-up striker, bruv. So if we're trying to play a certain type of philosophy of football, you don't put this guy at the top of it. You just don't do it. Listen, Arsenal will try and dress this up to be positive, right? They will say he's 23 years of age. He's an England international. He's 6'4". He had something different to the squad. We've got him on loan. You know exactly the way that they will dress this up to try and make us believe that this is something we should be excited about. No. Stay away from it. Lyle saying 40 million is a good deal. You're right, Lyle. It is a very good deal for Chelsea. It is not a good deal for Arsenal Football Club. No, stay away from it. I don't want nothing to do with this. As you say, Installments FC, it's all about money. That's exactly what it is. Arsenal have probably looked at other strikers, but them clubs are saying, pay the money. And they're going, nah. Chelsea are saying, yo, Mikel, what are you saying? I heard you want a striker, bro. Yeah, man, I'm looking around for a striker. Listen, I got Tammy for you, Tammy Abraham, England international, 6'4". He's quick. He's an Arsenal fan. He admires Thierry Henry. Give you something different. Last 20 when you want to start. Remember when we was putting 30 crosses a game in? Listen, I tell you what, Mikel, I'll do you a deal. You take him now. You don't pay anything till next year. No interest, no APR. Just straight 40 million next summer. How does that sort you out? You ain't even got to worry about it till next year. And Arsenal and Arteta are mopping it up. Yeah, that sounds great to me. We ain't got to spend no money. We'll get him in and deal with it in a year. Let's be honest. Mikel Arteta might not be at Arsenal next summer. So when that problem arises next summer and we have to pay 40 million for Tammy Abraham, this brother might not even be at the football club no more. So it ain't no problem to him. The Kroenkes will mop that up as well. Yeah, England international. We don't got to pay nothing for him till next year. It works for all of them. It is so much of an Arsenal transfer. It's unbelievable. Man said Tammy Soldado. Yo. It's sad, because, Tammy, man, do you know what I mean? you love Arsenal. You're an Arsenal fan, so Tammy's probably buzzing. Yo, I'm on the verge of joining my boyhood club, but yo, we ain't got time for this right now. Business is running. We ain't got time for no Tammy hate. Man, I got me calling him Tammy and Nketiah, Tammy Welbeck, Tammy Jeffers, Tammy Sanogo. You know what I mean? All of them. Tammy Lucas Perez. Nah, bruv. Stay away, man. Stay at Chelsea, bro. We're cool, man. How many times are we going to go to Chelsea and get bumped? We took Willian on a free, and that was way too expensive. Do you know what I mean? Work that one out, people. Even on a free, it was way too expensive. David Luiz, nah. He weren't the nah. Man, don't ever put Tammy to my name. Man, don't put Tammy on my name, I don't care what level this guy played at. My first touch is better than Tammy's, fam. I don't care. Nah, big up Tammy still out. It's harsh, but nah, man. Go West Ham, man. West Ham, you and Antonio up front. You know what I mean? Nuisance factor. We ain't got time, man. We're paying big season ticket prices. We want to see football, man. You know what I mean? We can't pay a grand a season to watch Tammy up front. Nah, brother. It don't work like that. Naveen said, Tammy is a good loan buy. Tall, fast and powerful, Bredgen. Yo, man. Usain Bolt's tall, fast and powerful. Don't mean I want him up front for Arsenal, Naveen. Them ones there. Big up Leo Messi, surfing and sneakers. He said, it's sad that the fans know who we should get and the board are absolutely clueless. Big up to Leo Messi, surfing sneakers. And that's the thing. There are options out there that are clear and obvious. Apologies. A lot of you have been putting in the chat, Andre Silva's gone to Leipzig for less than that. The man's been banging goals in for fun. Patson Dakar went to Leicester, for cheap. Edouard's available for around 18 million. Yet we're out here talking about 40 for Tammy. Nah, man, relax with all that. Relax. We don't need that deal. Tammy Abraham deal would be a scam. I'm telling you, that's a scam business. That's straight. What was that old thing called, man? Pyramid scheme. That's a pyramid scheme. They're going, listen, you give us 40. In 5 years, it will be worth 80. Next minute, mate, you know what I mean? They've closed down your account. Your money's disappeared, man. Straight. How many times are Chelsea going to bump us, man? You gave us Peter Cech when he was basically an old man, couldn't move. You gave us Willian, do you know what I mean, on a free. And like I said, we still got bumped on a free transfer. We took David Luiz, who, okay, he wasn't too bad last season, but calamity the year before. Come on, man. We can't keep getting bumped. They gave us Gallas, who wore number 10 and sulked on the pitch, while we gave them Ashley Cole, one of the best left-backs to ever play in the Premier League. Come on. Stay away from Chelsea, man. We can't keep getting bumped by them. Man said Tammy Bolt, I'm telling you, Tammy Bolt settings. Yeah, we might need a centre-forward, but not him. Not him, people. I would rather stick with what we've got than buy him. I'm telling you. 100%. I don't want nothing to do with him. Big up Robert Pearson. Thank you very much for becoming a member on the channel, bro. Appreciate your support. As always, lots of content coming for the members as well. And for the non-members, of course. Sports Genius said, Big C as a former defender, Tammy is the type of striker I would hate to go against. Big, physical and awkward. I'd take him for 25 mil. Sports Genius, do you know what he'll do? He'll be a nuisance. He'll hassle you. He'll get through on goal and he'll hit the post. So you'll still get that clean sheet. He will be awkward to play against, but you'll get the clean sheet. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? I hear what you're saying. He is a nuisance, but for 40 mil, I want more than a nuisance. I want a bad boy goal scorer for 40 mil. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. Backwards FC under KSE, Kroenke out. I'm telling you, man, that guy is... That guy, I mean, that's the biggest problem. But that's for another show. We definitely got to get back on that kind of energy if nothing happens. Tammy Noodles. Oh, dear. I said Tammy Goat. Oh, my days. You lot are disrespecting Tammy. Listen, what I'll say about Tammy, you're a Chelsea player. You are an England international, though you're not picked on a regular basis. And, listen, you're a pro at the top level, so I can't really question you as a footballer. I'm speaking purely as an Arsenal fan. Tammy ain't it, bro. Tammy ain't it. The fans know it. Yeah, we can look at him and say if he was cheaper, if he was on loan with just an option to buy, it wouldn't be the end of the world if you were giving me Tammy on the bench just as a plan B. But when you're paying 40 million, when he's on 80 grand a week, 100 grand with bonuses, you ain't signing him to bench him. You're signing him to heavily involve him. He ain't the one, bro. He ain't the one, Ilya said, "I Curtis, don't know why people are slagging off Adebayor. He missed a lot of important chances. He was a 20-goal striker." Listen, Tammy ain't on Adebayor's level yet. I got to be honest, man. Adebayor, he took a while to get going at Arsenal, but when he did, he got going properly. You know what I mean? Broad said, what price would you want for him? I'd say 10 mil, 10, 15 mil. Anything more, leave it. Leave it. I wouldn't want him. Realistically, even 20, but nothing more than that. Man said Tammy Tampax. Nah, yo, even I ain't going to them levels. Tammy is better than Lacko. I mean, is he though? Is he? I don't think he would get more goals. I think they'd probably get the same number of goals. He's more of a nuisance, but then technically nowhere near as good. I wouldn't want him. 20 million and he can become a backup dancer. That's all it is, man. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Curtis, you miss Giroud type of player. Now you got Giroud 2.0 in Tammy. Listen, I would take Giroud over Tammy. Real talk. Even now, I think Giroud's 33? I would take Giroud over Tammy because I know exactly what I'm going to get from Olivier Giroud. Put crosses in, hold the ball up, technical ability, just slow. With Tammy, I don't know what I'm going to get. You know? I don't know what I'm going to get with Tammy. So, listen, there you go. 20 minutes on Tammy. We spoke about it. I had to really, speak about that situation. Man said 6'5" and awful aerial ability. I mean, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there with Tammy. I hope Arsenal leave it there. I hope that is purely speculation. I mean, Chelsea, no wonder Chelsea are throwing him to us. They can't wait to get him off their books. He wasn't even on the bench in the cup final. FA Cup, yeah, come on. We'll leave it there. But Tammy, I don't want you anywhere near the football club. I respect the fact that you're an Arsenal fan and you love the club. That's cool. That's nice. That's cute. You know what I mean? But yo, man, relax. Just stay at Chelsea, man. The Champions League winners, man. Just chill. You might as well stay there. Man said Giroud's in the Champions League. Him and Zlatan up front, Champions League. Do you know what I'm saying? In the at AC Milan. You don't need to be coming to Arsenal, man. Stay away. But there we go. There's the Tammy debate. The general feeling, I think, is that most of you don't want him. The odd one of you saying you would take him at a cheaper price. But on loan with an obligation, no chance, mate. Stay well away. Right, listen, let's move on. Just quickly as well. Obviously, the word came out yesterday that the Arsenal tour of Florida has been cancelled due to this new COVID, Delta variant. They have cancelled the tour. I think the actual cup itself will continue, but obviously Arsenal will not be in it. So for anybody, obviously America-based or whatever, if you've got tickets, go and chase up your refund now. Arsenal were due to fly out today, actually, but they have pulled out. Some of the staff members and players that have tested positive for COVID. So the club have decided to cancel the tour. So, anybody who has bought tickets for that, make sure you chase up your refund, man, because you know what these companies are like, which is a shame. Apparently, Arsenal will be replacing the 2 Florida Cup games with 2 behind closed doors friendlies. So we won't be watching them, whoever they're playing against. Unfortunately, because, these games will have to get arranged at short notice. And, they'll probably play lower league opposition in England or something like that. So, yeah, that's a shame. I was looking forward. To meeting some of you guys over there. And obviously, we would have played Inter Milan and Everton. Would have been quality games to watch. Someone said they've backed out because they knew Inter were going to batter us. But, we could have negotiated the Hector Bellerin deal over there. Just left him over there. Just get him. Bellerin's going to be like, hey, Mikel, how come I've only got a single flight? How come I haven't got a return to London? Well, Hector, mate, we've got some news for you here, mate. You ain't flying back, but he ain't going nowhere. The Zim Gunner said, big up, Curtis. I'm so disappointed about the Florida trip. It was going to be my first time watching Arsenal. Big up from the USA. I feel sorry for a lot of fans in America. You would have been, I would imagine you would have been really looking forward to seeing Arsenal over there. And of course, it's been cancelled. But with this whole COVID situation, it's a crazy world at the moment. Broad said friendlies in Scotland for $7.99 on Arsenal.com. Hey, big up, man. Over 1.2k already, people. You lot are legit, man. I really appreciate the support. Oh, man, this one disappointed me. I stayed up late last night watching Jamaica against Costa Rica. We lost 1-0. The game was delayed for like over an hour because of bad weather conditions in Miami. They came back out. They lost 1-0. They should have won. They dominated the game, had over 15 shots. Costa Rica had a man sent off. They couldn't break them down, but they are through to the next stage, and they'll play against America in the next round. I will probably live stream that game as well. And then on top of that, Jamaica's probably biggest player at the moment, Leon Bailey, a guy who was linked with Arsenal and linked with Chelsea a year or two ago. They were talking about 50, 60 million pounds. Aston Villa on the verge of signing Leon Bailey for just 30 million pounds. 30 mil for Leon Bailey, 15 goals last year in the Bundesliga. Play left wing, play right wing. I would have loved to have. Well, listen, do Arsenal need a winger? I don't know. We've got Saka, we've got Pepe, we've got Martinelli, we've still got Nelson, we've got Willian, unfortunately. But Leon Bailey for 30 million pounds. I mean, can you imagine Aston Villa with Bailey on the right, Grealish on the left, and Buendia in the number 10 role? I mean, that's a serious three-man attack with Watkins up front as well. So, Leon Bailey for 30 million pounds looks like good value to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why other clubs are not looking at that. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I would definitely be excited to see him in the Premier League. Aston Villa are a source. We found out the hard way last season. 2 defeats against them. Do you know what I'm saying? So it looks like, they're spending 30 million on Leon Bailey. We're out here looking at Tammy for 40. I mean, if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. I told you, people, this is the trademark right now. And something else, if you lot want to see something that doesn't make sense, again, you're about to see it. If you didn't think that signing Tammy Abraham for 40 million pounds, possibly, I'm not saying it's definite, possibly 40 million pounds for Tammy Abraham was a bit wild. We're about to get even more wild now, people. We're about to get even more wild. You guessed it, Mr. Aaron Ramsdale, Mr. back-to-back relegations, Mr. Sheffield United and Bournemouth relegated goalkeeper. According to TalkSport, now I get it, it's TalkSport, so we don't jump all over anything they say because we know that TalkSport are, they're a bit of a troll sometimes. But according to TalkSport, Arsenal have already had 2 offers rejected for Aaron Ramsdale and will now go back with a 30 million pound bid. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know what to say. Aaron Ramsdale. I mean, let me just say one thing. TalkSport are not, they're not one of them that when TalkSport say it, you go, right, it's legit. TalkSport have said it. A lot of the time they make things up. But let's be honest, we've heard this Aaron Ramsdale link from a lot of sources for a couple of weeks now. And apparently we've had a 20 and a 25 million pound bid rejected for this guy. Now, I've got 1 or 2 questions. I'm just putting them out there and I'm looking for your responses on this. Number one, and Fran, don't you dare start saying he's not that bad. Yeah, he might not be that bad, but 30 million pounds. Number one, if we've got Leno in goal as our number 1, why are we looking to spend 30 million pound on a backup goalkeeper? Who does that? Who spends 30 million pound on a backup goalkeeper? That's my first question. Now, number 2, the second question would indicate if we're looking to spend 30 million on a goalkeeper, that would make you think there's something not quite right with Bernd Leno. Leno has 2 years left. I think Leno will possibly go at the end of next season. So they're looking for somebody that can come in, compete with him, and eventually replace him. That would make sense, in my opinion, right? Number 3, Ramsdale is not worth £30 million. I watched this guy play a number of times for Sheffield United. A friend of mine, David McGoldrick, plays for Sheffield United. So I watch a lot of their games to see how he gets on. Ramsdale was absolutely bang average for them. I can't blame the relegation on him. His team weren't good enough. But £30 million, I can't even believe Sheffield United are rejecting 20 million for him and 25 million for him. 30 million, if they get 30 million pounds offers. This guy was fourth choice for England. He got in the squad because of Nick Pope not being available. Fourth choice for England, 30 million pounds from Sheffield United. They're in the championship. They're in the championship. They should not be able to get 30 million pounds out of us for anybody. Absolutely. There's nobody at Sheffield United. No disrespect. McGoldrick's my boy. But yo, no one at Sheffield United's worth 30 million pounds. Let's just keep it real. 30 million for Ramsdale. To add on top of that, Andre Onana, who we were linked with, who is a highly rated ball-playing goalkeeper, he's on the verge of signing for Lyon today for €7 million. 7 million euros. 5.5 million pounds. 5.5 million pounds for Onana, who is a better goalkeeper, in my opinion, than Aaron Ramsdale. Now we know the problem with Onana is banned until November. Arsenal don't have a backup goalkeeper to Leno. If Leno got injured, you're playing a Conqueror, who we saw the other day is not good enough at this moment. He's a young player. We should have done something else. Darren, you make a great point. Asmir Begovic just gone to Everton on a free transfer. Would have been a sufficient backup goalkeeper number 2, in my opinion. He's a free. You could have got him for nothing. Aaron Ramsdale for 30 million, please. And let me not even mention the elephant in the room. I know what you're all thinking in your head. I can see it. I know what you're all thinking. How are we buying Aaron Ramsdale for 30 million when 1 year ago, you know what I'm going to say, and you know, a year ago, we sold a certain goalkeeper. I don't even know if I should say his name because it triggers a lot of people when you say his name. But a year ago, we sold a certain goalkeeper for £20 million. This guy has, 15 clean sheets at Aston Villa last year. He's now the Argentina number 1. He's just won the Copa America. Lionel Messi, probably the greatest player of all time, says, he's a great goalkeeper now. So I don't even want to say his name. I don't want to upset people. I don't want to upset people. But we sold that guy that I'm talking about. We sold him for 20 million, and we're trying to buy Ramsdale, who just got relegated with Sheffield United, for 30 million. I mean, I don't know what Edu's been doing this summer. I saw Edu on holiday with Raul Sanelli. I don't know what kind of cigars he's smoking. I don't know what kind of brandy their man are drinking. I don't know what kind of brown envelopes are being exchanged. But I need to know how Aaron Ramsdale is worth £30 million and how we are the team that is willing to pay it. I need to know. No disrespect to Ben White. Georgia, I can't even click on your comment, but yo, man's been in them favelas, man. Yo, I don't know what he's been on, but listen, we're desperate for Arsenal to spend big money, right? We're all desperate. Man said it stinks of Richard Garlick. Man said garlic by name, garlic by nature, man. Man's stinking out our transfers. But listen, imagine Arsenal go and spend, and this is no disrespect to Ben White, because I actually think Ben White is a good player, but 50 mil, we know that's a bit overpriced. Can you imagine a world where Arsenal go and spend, we've spent 25 on Lokonga and Tavares, who, let's be honest, are relative unknowns, right? They're relatively unknown, its potential. So that's 25 mil on those two. 50 mil on Ben White, so that takes us to 75. If we did buy Tammy Abraham, I hope we don't, but if we did, 40 million. That takes us to 115. And then 30 million on Ramsdale. 145 million, and you haven't even signed one player that you would go, listen, that guy is going to improve this team massively. Now, don't get me wrong. Ben White may improve us a lot, but we don't know that. It's a risk. He's got a lot of potential. Every player that we have signed so far is potential. There's no guarantees. I remember when Alexis Sanchez signed for Arsenal, I said, listen, people are in trouble this season. The right backs that play against him this season are in trouble. That's all I knew. That's all I knew. When we signed him, I said, people are in trouble. Even when we signed Aubameyang from Dortmund, I said, yo, this brother can run. This guy's quick. You better not leave space in behind. But the players we're signing at the moment, you can't bank on those players and say, yes, you bring in Ramsdale, we step up a level. Ramsdale is not better than Leno. And I'm not even sure if Leno is levels. I mean, like levels up there with Alisson, Ederson, those kind of goalkeepers there. You know, even like Kasper Schmeichel, I would say, is better than Leno. So Ramsdale, for me, looks like a wild signing. You know, I think at 30 million, they're going to sign him, have him compete with Leno, and Leno probably moves on next summer. Ramsdale then becomes the number one. Now, what I will say, these are all stories. Nothing's factual. There's nothing to say we've signed these players. We might not even want Tammy Abraham. The Ramsdale one, I believe, is true. I think we're definitely interested in him. Whether we're willing to pay 30 million for him or not is a different story. So, you know, I'm not overreacting. I'm not shouting, swearing, none of that. This could all be paper talk. Edu and Arteta could be sitting there going, listen, man, I don't know what these guys are talking about because we don't want no Tammy Abraham. We ain't looking to pay 30 million for Ramsdale. But I'm saying if you are looking to make them deals happen, we're going to have a serious problem here, people. You know, I said yesterday I'm going to be patient, but I ain't trying to see no Ramsdale and no Tammy Abraham at Arsenal. We don't pay season ticket prices and memberships to watch no Aaron Ramsdale in goal, bro. Leave him at Sheffield United. You know, go and win the championship. You know, go to Brighton or something. The legend of Renegade said, Arteta-ins can't take the L with this Martinez sale. PR machine has brainwashed our fan base. Listen, man, do you know what? This is why I didn't want to say his name, people. I don't want to upset people. Sometimes if you say anything about Martinez, people start going wild. So I try not to say his name. You know what I'm saying? Bro, I'm telling you, Arsenal are moving like a charity right now. We trying to help everyone out during a pandemic. This brother don't want to spend no money on Arsenal. I feel like he's spending money to help clubs out. Man said, you know what? Sheffield United just been relegated, bless them. Let's go and buy their goalkeeper for 30 mil. They're like, yeah, but he's only worth 12 million. Yeah, but we'll give him 30. You know? It's crazy, bruv. Even they were talking about, what's his name? Sam Johnston from West Brom. For me, Sam Johnston's a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale. And they're saying 15 million for Ramsdale. 15 million for Johnston, sorry. I even saw a report today saying that Areola's available on loan from PSG. Obviously, PSG have got Navas, Keylor Navas. They've just signed on a rumor. His third choice. He doesn't want to stay there. So we'll have to see, but it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good, man. Ramsdale, I don't want him. Keep him away from the club. But of course, they're rumors. I ain't about to go mad. We'll see what happens. Let's give it time. Hopefully, these deals don't happen and we get someone better. You know, that's all we want to see. We want to see better than that. We can't be signing Ramsdale for no 30 million. This is a club in the Championship. They should be doing us a favor and saying, all right, if you want Ramsdale, we'll do him cheap. We're going in at some big price for him. There's no need for that. The PR machine, though, continues, people. The PR machine continues. If you didn't think Tammy Abraham, no, in fact, no, I'm not going to play this one up as being worse. It's just one that, again, fills me with no optimism and is a deal that I wouldn't want to see. I'm going to introduce this one quietly because I have to have some respect for this player because of what he's achieved. But again, it's another typical Arsenal bit of transfer business. I'm going to reveal it slowly, people, just in case you haven't seen it. Arsenal have emerged as favourites to sign Jordan Henderson should stalled contract talks with Liverpool end in him leaving the club as early as this summer. Now, I introduced him a little bit different. The reason I introduced him different, he's a Champions League winner and a Premier League winner. He's been instrumental in Liverpool's success over the last, 3-4 years. But let's be honest. Let's just be honest right now. Jordan Henderson is a solid midfield player, right? He's a solid midfield player. He's better than everything we've got apart from Thomas Partey. But the reality is this. He's 31 years of age. He's had injury problems this season. He's on decent wages as well. And I would say he's past his best now. The other thing I would say with Jordan Henderson, certain players, they benefit from certain systems. They need to play in a certain system. I think Jurgen Klopp's system at Liverpool suits Henderson down to a T because he does the work, and then gives the ball to that front three. And that front three go and rip teams apart. When he plays for England, where he's got a lot more responsibility on his shoulders, you haven't got that Liverpool system. I think you see that Henderson isn't as good as he is in a Liverpool shirt. I hope that doesn't sound disrespectful to him. I still think he's a very good player. He's a player that when Liverpool signed him, I really didn't rate him. I couldn't understand for a couple of years why Liverpool bought him. But naturally, he improved over time, and he's become a very, very important player at Liverpool and a leader as well. But he's 31. He's on a good wage. He's had injury problems last season. This deal to me would make no sense. He's not a free transfer either. You know, he has 2 years left. So you're going to have to pay a half decent transfer fee for him along with it. To me, it's another backward step. I don't like this deal. You know, it's just another, let me go to a decent club and get a big wage and kind of wind down after, you know, you can see how hard that Liverpool style is and how hard you have to work to be a part of that. He's probably going to come to Arsenal, wind down his career, get 150 grand a week and chill. If we were playing 4-3-3, it'd be all right. You might get a good year or two out of Hendo, but that's not the player for me. A 31-year-old at Liverpool that they're not willing to give a new contract to, that's on decent wages, and we're picking up. It's like, why are we always going to Liverpool, to Chelsea, to Man United and signing players that they don't want? And not only that they don't want, that they're willing to push out the door. You know, we don't go to Chelsea and say, listen, right, there's 75 million, give us N'Golo Kante. Or give us Reece James. We're going there saying, yo, give me your fourth choice striker. We're going to Liverpool saying, yo, you know that centre midfielder that you're not offering a new contract to because you want to freshen up your midfield? Give him to us. We'll have him. You know, get him back out the bin. We'll take him. We'll clean him up. We'll get the wipes out, clean him up a little bit and put him in our midfield. Now, listen. Again, I'm going to add context to this. Is this a genuine rumour? I hope not. Is it just Sky Sports going, do you know what? Henderson looks like he might leave. Arsenal need a midfielder. It would make sense for Henderson to go to Arsenal. There may be absolutely nothing in this link whatsoever. But I have to have the conversation that if there is a link to this, does it even make sense for Arsenal? So I want to know in the comments, because, listen, I saw all your feelings about Tammy Abraham. I would say 90% of you said no. Maybe 10% of you said, you know, he's a bit of a nuisance, you'd take him. Ramsdale, I think the general feeling is nobody really wants him. But what do you think about Jordan Henderson? As I said, I don't really think this is a genuine rumour, but it could be. So we have to discuss it. Would you take Jordan Henderson at Arsenal for 2 or 3 years? My personal opinion, I would stay away from it. He's had an injury hit season last year. I think he I look at Henderson as someone who bleeds Liverpool now. You know, I think the only other club that means that much to him is Sunderland, his boyhood club. I wouldn't particularly want him at Arsenal now. I think he'd be coming for the... You know, I wouldn't like the reason for buying him, a player that can't get a contract at Liverpool. Listen, he's got a lot of the characteristics that I like. I think he's a leader. And I think he would be quite solid. But We don't have that system. Liverpool have got a system that works perfect for him. You know, certain midfielders fit into that system and they excel because it's, you know what you've got to do. It's like a well-oiled machine. At Arsenal, I feel like you're just out there and it's, do what you need to do by yourself. I don't think Henderson would look great at Arsenal, I have to be honest, with our setup. So for me, stay away. Makil said Senseless FC. Roland said Pension FC. Carney G said, let's create leaders, not bring others. I mean, listen, I don't mind bringing others if it makes sense, but Henderson for me at this moment doesn't. But I agree we need to create some as well. We can't go buying pensioners who are injury prone. It's just so typical of Arsenal. The money could be spent on better options. And listen, I think that's what it is. If we need a leader, we can bring back David Luiz. I mean, Luiz obviously is gone. I think he's about to sign for someone. We don't need Henderson, in my opinion. I do think Henderson is a much improved player. But for me, as an Arsenal fan, that ain't a deal I'm trying to see happen. I think we need to sign players that are in their prime of their career, not guys. At the moment, Arsenal only seem to buy players where you're past your best or you've just started. I think what the issue is with Arsenal now, I was speaking to somebody about Lokonga yesterday and they were going, he's a bit raw. Maybe he's not quite ready for the Premier League to excel yet, or it might take him some time before he excels. But my point was, Arsenal can't wait for a player like Lokonga. If he had another year, let's say he had another year at Anderlecht, did well, they're in the Europa League, I believe, gets in the Belgium squad, starts doing well. All of a sudden, he's worth 40 million. And Man City want him, and Chelsea want him, and Man United want him. And we then can't get him. So we have to see that bit of potential and go, we're going to take the risk, because if he gets any better, we're going to lose out to bigger clubs with Champions League and things like that. Amar Neil said, signing unknowns could give Arsenal the advantage because the opposition wouldn't know how to deal with them yet, i.e. Martinelli. Henderson is El Neni 2.0. I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying with the unknowns. The unpredictability factor can make it difficult for other teams. And I do think that's something Arsenal are going to have to do, because we don't have the money to go and blow the market up. Or if we do, we're spending it on crazy kind of players. I think Henderson is better than El Neni. I think he can pass the ball forward. I think he's a lot more progressive. But I just don't think he's the right type of signing for us right now. But big up for the super chat, bro. Ben said, Big C, Aston Villa are bidding 30 million for Leon Bailey. We are bidding for Ramsdale for the same price. We are done. Listen, I just hope that we half of these rumors don't come to fruition, Hopefully it's just all talk, people trying to sell newspapers. Junior Bloodfire said, Big C, I'm going to bet you a case of Guinness Arteta will be sacked by November. He's not ready. It's in front of our eyes. Listen, I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't disagree with you. But as I said yesterday, you guys know my opinion on Arteta. I had a whole series on Arteta out last season. For now, start of the season, I'm just trying to have that little bit of optimism that we're going to sign some players, we're going to improve, and I'm just going to see how the season starts. Listen, I could be sitting here by half-time against Brentford, and I could have changed everything what I'm saying now. Ivan Toney's got a hat-trick, it's all gone wrong, and I want him gone that day. But for now, I'm going to move with the glass half full settings, man. We move. I'm going to be positive until I see something different. Last season was last season. It was a disaster, but we've just got to be honest. We're stuck with this manager, this owner, this board. That's all we got to work with right now, So let's see on that one. But the Henderson one, at the moment, I would like to say that's just Sky Sports trying to put a story out there. I don't really see too much substance in that. Clip it, Curtis. Don't let that case go. Bro, I want that Guinness sending, But no, listen, I don't agree with Junior. I don't disagree with Junior, though. If he's there by November, Christmas, it'll be a surprise. It'll be a surprise because the fans are not going to be patient with Mikel Arteta. That's the thing. They were so annoyed and frustrated with last year. Now with 60,000 in the Emirates, you're not going to have that kind of patience. So the pressure has probably doubled or trebled on Mikel Arteta this year, We've now signed, I believe, 10 players on permanent deals since he's been the manager. So, he's got no excuse now, but he needs a few more. Let's have a look at potential outgoings, and one person that looks like it's going to get done sooner rather than later is Mr. Granit Xhaka. There you can see him arm in arm. Who'd have known at the time that this was probably going to be your future manager? Jose Mourinho, according to Angelo Mangianti, who apparently is a pretty good source in Italy, said Granit Xhaka will join Mourinho next week in the Roma training camp in Portugal, the Algarve. Mourinho is pushing and waiting for him. Personal terms are already agreed. The deal between AS Roma and Arsenal is almost done. It's believed there's going to be a compromise of around 18.5 million for Xhaka. They offered 17. We wanted 20. Apparently, according to the report, they're saying around 18.5. Listen, I think Arsenal have to take the hit. I know under normal circumstances, I would have said, based on the Euros he's just had and stuff like that, Arsenal should have put their foot down and said, we want 30 million for him, 25 million for him. But beggars can't be choosers. We have no European football right now. We're not in a position of power. I think it's more damaging to keep him if he has a bad season. What are you getting for him next year? 15 million, 12 million? So for me, take 18.5 for Xhaka, move him on. We need to start selling players. We have got a massive squad right now, if you include the players that are coming back off loan. Like I said yesterday, Lucas Torreira apparently arrives back in London next week. That's another player we've got a decision to make. Does he stay? Do we move him on? Interest from France and Italy. Joe Willock still being linked with Newcastle. What's going to happen with him? We've still got Kolasinac. We've still got Willian. We've still got Renarsson at the football club. Eddie Nketiah has been linked with moves. Nelson, what's happening with Lacazette? He's got a year left. Do they extend his contract or sell him? There is a lot of business for Arsenal to do during the next 4 weeks that they need to get done. It's absolutely crazy. But Granit Xhaka, I think this deal will get done. Mourinho wants him. I've always said, I think Xhaka will do all right in a league like Italy. Bit slower, bit more time on the ball. You saw for Switzerland in international football that's a bit slower than the Prem. He looks decent. He's just not suited to the Prem. Doesn't suit Arsenal and our style, whatever our style is. Listen, I think this one needs to be done. And good riddance, in my opinion. 35 million, it hasn't worked out. So it is what it is. Xhaka on his way out. Akeem, big up, bro. He said, Tammy is worth 40 million in the pandemic. We are clowns. Listen, even out of the pandemic, Tammy ain't worth 40. So in the pandemic, he's got to be worth about 15, 20 mil, 25 mil, bro. I'm telling you. But it is what it is, man. It seems like when we sign a player, they go at the very maximum of their value. And when we sell a player, they're at rock bottom. We can't even get, we're struggling to get 10 million for Guendouzi. He's a French international, where I saw Liverpool yesterday selling players. They sold some guy I've never heard of for like 8 million to Berlin. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Man said, Elsa settings, let him go. Let him go. Get Xhaka out the door, man. We don't want him here. We've had enough. Swap Griezmann for Lacazette. I mean, listen, I think Griezmann's got a little more ambition. No disrespect. He ain't about to come to Arsenal and play Carabao Cup. Oh, yeah, and Grujic. They got like 10.5 for Grujic, but I wasn't even talking about him. There's some other guy who hasn't made one appearance for Liverpool's first team. He went for like £8 million. Grujic went for about 10.5 to Porto. So it looks like Xhaka is on his way out. Ramsdale, 30 mil. Tammy, 40 mil. Arsenal are a joke. I mean, 70 million on them two. 50 on Ben White. 120 mil on Ramsdale, Tammy Abraham, and Ben White. As I said, I don't think all these deals will happen. Right, I'm worried about the Ramsdale one. I'm not going to lie. I've seen the link way too much. I've seen it a lot of times that we want this guy. I don't understand why. But there's definitely interest in Ramsdale. The Tammy one, I'm still skeptical because I don't think Tammy joins Arsenal unless Lacazette leaves. And I haven't heard anything about Lacazette leaving. Where are we getting this money from? Jimbo, one thing I would say with Arsenal have got good credit. When you've got good credit, you can get a lot of things with good credit. It doesn't necessarily mean you've got the money there. Arsenal might go and spend 150 million in this window. Tammy is by now, start paying next year. You know, Tavares was 8 million. That's peanuts to Arsenal. Lokonga was 17. We'd have spread that over a few years. That's not a big fee. Ramsdale's at Sheffield United. They won't get probably even half of that money up front. That'll be spread over a number of years. Ben White plays for Brighton. That'll be spread over years. They're just spreading out payments over a long period of time. This ain't money up front. This is why we didn't buy Fabinho when Emery was there. This is why we didn't buy Zaha when Emery was there. This is why we missed out on these kind of players, because when they said, all right, give me the cash, we never had that cash. We got credit. We got good credit, you know? And that's the difference. Man said the money's coming from Amazon. Yo, listen, how are Amazon not filming already? The Hibernian game and Rangers game, now the tour's been cancelled. Yo, they would have made about 10 million already. Now we're being linked with Tammy and them, man. Kyle said, Curtis, you'll be straight out for the new home shirt with Abraham on the back, bro. You will never, ever see me with Tammy Abraham on the back of a shirt. I promise you that. Alan said, Bright House settings. Bright House. You walk into Bright House with no money, but your credit looks good. You can walk out of there with a sofa. You can get a fridge. You can get a PS5. You can get, you know, a new bed, a fridge. You can go and spend $5,000 in there, but you ain't got no $5,000. You're paying that $5,000 over about 3 years, and by the time the interest, you probably paid $13,000, $14,000. We're straight Bright House settings, man. Cash generator FC people. Part A was cash up front, but let's be honest, 45 mil. 20 million of that came from, you know who, the goalkeeper at Aston Villa. I don't want to mention. You know what I mean? I don't want to upset no one. Yeah, that Argentinian international winning goalkeeper who we sold to Aston Villa, you know, that one. 20 million was from him. And then what? 25 million we had to pay? You know, that they can do that. They can do that. But like I said this at the time. I know for a fact that Arsenal wanted Zaha ahead of Pepe, right? Got mutual friends. I'm friends with Yannick Bolasie and a few others. And I know a few people at Palace. And Palace wanted most of that money up front, and Arsenal couldn't pay it. You know, where Pepe, Lille was struggling for money. Yeah, 72 million, pay that over 5 years. We only paid 15 million up front. And that's the difference, you know. The bigger clubs aren't going to allow you to spread them payments out over 5 years. You know, they're going to want a lot of that money up front. Please, Mrs. Walmart, may we have another? It's just crazy, isn't it? Because our owner is extremely rich. His wife is Mrs. Walmart, or an absolute huge company in America. And we're out here scraping to get players on buy now, pay later settings, you know. Locatelli don't want to come to us. He will become the next Torreira. I don't think we're getting Locatelli. I read yesterday that Juventus are close to getting it done. Big up Fraser, man. He said, another Chelsea player. Just call us Chelsea Light. Or Chelsea Retirement FC from now on. I'm just sick of us buying Chelsea players. You know, it's not like we go there and sign top players. We're signing the players they're pushing out the door. I suppose the difference with this one, it's a younger player, but, you know, have we not learned? How many times do we have to make the same mistake before we learn from it? You know, you buy Willian, you buy David Luiz, you buy Peter Cech, and then you're still going to Chelsea. Do we just ring Chelsea every summer and go, you know, right, we need a left back, we need a striker. What have you got for us? It doesn't make no sense. You know, have we not got more than that? Can we not look around the transfer market and get another player? Ruben Neves, by the way, is being linked with Manchester United now. He's been linked with Arsenal for a few weeks. He is now being linked with a move to Manchester United, 35 million. Apparently, Bruno Fernandes is pushing for that. Mur said, no Renato Sanchez news. I mean, they are saying now, according to some reports, that he is still on the Arsenal list. But Lille did say yesterday there have been no offers whatsoever for the player so far. So we'll have to see what happens with that. One of the players we were talking about yesterday was James Madison. And this story has come out in the Mail, came out last night. Again, Daily Mail, much like the Sun, a newspaper that I don't like to quote, but, they're running the story. And as you can see, Arsenal trying to negotiate and hustle again. They're real hustlers, man. What a hustling club Arsenal are, man. But Arsenal would be willing to include Ainsley Maitland-Niles or Reece Nelson in a potential deal for James Madison. Although discussions will be difficult, Leicester would be open to negotiate as Rodgers wants a right winger. I mean, when you open the story and read it, it says that Arsenal are only willing to pay £50 million for Madison. It's believed they would want a value of around 70 million for Madison. Now, Arsenal are saying, they will value Maitland-Niles or Nelson at like 15 million, maybe 20 for Ainsley. Now, what it says, Leicester wanted Ainsley Maitland-Niles in January. They wanted him as a guy that can play right back or centre mid. He's versatile, he's young. And also Reece Nelson as a potential, player to come in and play right wing at Leicester. Again, do I see that deal happening? Not really. I think if you want Madison, you got to pay what they want. But they were linked with Ainsley, so maybe if they're still interested in him, you can chuck them an Ainsley and give them 50 mil. Maybe they would take it. I said yesterday that I don't think Madison is worth 70 million because of the fact that for me, when he's good, he's good. When he's bad, sometimes he's non-existent, and I'm not sure he's worth anything more than 60 million. I know you would say 60, 70, it's not much difference, but there has to be a point where you say that's too much. And I'm not sure he's worth more than 60 million. So we'll have to see with that one. I mean, this is a player I would like to see Arsenal get, I've got to be honest. And I think Leicester would be willing to sell him at the right price because you've seen with Leicester, they sell players. They sold Mahrez, they sold Chilwell, they sold Maguire. When the time's right and a player's itching for a move, they'll sell him at a premium. And I think 60 to 70 million for Madison is worth selling for them. 50 million plus Ainsley or 50 million plus Nelson, I wouldn't be averse to doing that. But we'll have to see. Again, is it just paper talk? Is it just paper talk? Or is this genuinely a story that we could run with? I think most people are going with it because of the fact that they were linked with Ainsley Maitland-Niles in January last year. So it kind of putting two and two together and saying that Arsenal will offer that player. I mean, we need to get moving and shaking now. I don't want to see us buying players like Tammy Abraham and Ramsdale. Go and get some real quality. We'll have to see. I'd take it all day. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. We can allegedly pay 30 million for Ramsdale, but not 60 for Madison. That's the Arsenal way. Ainsley and Nelson are crap. That's harsh, man. Craig said, great stream as always, bro. Big up, bro. Big C, Tammy is an Arsenal fan, but surely we can get better. I wouldn't put it past his club to actually bring him in. Neither would I, bro. Madison's not worth 70 million, says Meh. Smash a like. It's free. Over 1,600 of you in here, people. Really appreciate your support as always. Subscribe as well if you haven't already. If it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it, Charlie. You know the thing, man. Oh, Gilfy, yeah. Listen, man. You know what? I don't really even want to talk about it. Until, if they charge him and whatever, then we'll bring it up. But, I would rather Dan James on loan than Nelson. Says Sid, the Leicester fan. If we got 50 million for Ben White, why couldn't we add an extra 20 and get Grealish? Bro, they turned down 100 from City, so we can't get him for 70. And he's not going to want to come to Arsenal. Let's keep it 100. He ain't coming to Arsenal. They might do it, especially with James Justin's long-term injury. Exactly. Ainsley could go there and play right back. He can play centre midfield if you need him to. I think they probably would have a little bit of interest in Ainsley, man. RJ said, I've always liked you got to stop taking rumours seriously. Bro, listen, I always say at the end of the discussion of each player, this may not be true. You don't see me shouting, swearing, and overreacting. I just give you my opinion of the player. If that rumor is true. But then we kind of say whether we think it is. As I said, Jordan Henderson, I don't see any real substance in that story. I think that's made up. Tammy Abraham, I think we may hold an interest in him. I'm not sure if we're really pushing for that one, but if it fell into our lap, maybe they'll look for it. The Ramsdale one, I got to be honest, I do think we're genuinely trying to buy him. So listen, I never overreact to rumors, man. I know how this thing works, man. Ashburton Grove, did you know Walmart owns Asda? If we boycott Asda, who knows? What are you saying? Sainsbury's and Tesco, yeah? Breaking the wine, Curtis the legend speaks the truth every time. Respect. Big up, bro. Alex Burton said Madison told Leicester he wants to leave for Arsenal. I mean, if he has said that, then that's great. As I said something yesterday and someone messaged me about this, and I just wanted to clear this up. I made the point that Madison would want to leave Leicester for Arsenal, and the guy said to me, "Oh, he would only, basically it's only for money. He would only leave for money." And the point I was trying to make, even though Leicester are better than us in the league right now, Arsenal is a bigger platform for him as an individual to grow as a brand, as a player, as a name. Even though Leicester are a better team, they still only have a certain reach in football because they don't have that history and that support worldwide. James Madison signs for Arsenal. His following on social media gets bigger. His sponsorship deal gets bigger. He has a clothing brand deal with Boohoo Man. He's obviously looking at all those kind of things. Naturally, a player at Arsenal is going to become a big player if he's a big name already. So the platform's bigger. It's like a music artist. If you perform in front of 10,000 or you perform in front of 40,000, you want to perform in front of 40. Sidant said Madison is a party animal. He would love London alongside Mount, Chilwell and Rice. Yeah, listen, he would. The platform is bigger. If Arsenal do some sort of recovery over the next year or two and Madison's part of that, he becomes a bigger player. And that's what I was trying to say, that, I wasn't just implying that he would only join Arsenal because they would pay him more money. Arsenal puts him as a player on a bigger platform, on a bigger level. Like you said, bigger record label, man. Sony Def Jam settings, man, at Arsenal. Big up Robin, he said, Big C, I'm an Arsenal fan and LA Clippers fan, and our new basketball arena is being built right opposite Kroenke Sophie Stadium. Can't stand the guy, hey, man. I was watching basketball last night. Milwaukee Bucks, man, good victory for them. Would you take Declan Rice? Not at the prices they're quoting, definitely not. Leicester winning the FA Cup, qualifying for Europe was a success. It was a relative failure for Arsenal, and that's what I'm saying. The demand is much different. So even though I believe Leicester are a better team than us right now, that platform, that stage is a lot bigger, man, and people want the big platform and the big stage and the big money, man. So I believe he would come to Arsenal. That's it. That's it, people. Thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed this show, man. We had a lot to talk about, so it was very easy. Like I said, smash a like on the video if you can. It would be much appreciated. Can we get 1,000 likes as usual? Over 1,600 of you in here. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're en route to 30K before the start of the season. I will be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. I may have a guest on tomorrow, so look out for that. And I'll be on Highbury Squad with Kevin Campbell and Sophie tomorrow night at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on the Highbury Squad. So busy day tomorrow, people. Let's see what tomorrow throws up, man. Who we're going to be linked with tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bless.